Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Jumpcast. Today is episode 73, and I'm your host, Max, and I'm of course joined by my other co-host, Nick.
Hello. Also, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're on episode 76. I think you said 73.
Oh, did I say 76? I'm in my own world today. Yes,
No,
we're in
it's all good.
76. But so
Yes.
sadly, Max could not join us again. He is still finishing up his his show shoot, and I believe he said he had family in town, so
Yeah.
he's gonna be out. But we still have his thoughts for the week or for the chapter this week, and we wanted to include those. And fingers crossed, we should all be back together, recording together, in the next week or two.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to read his thoughts or should I?
yeah, I can read them. I'm gonna wait till after a minute though, because I think he said a swear word.
Oh,
But
it's
yeah,
all good.
so we're
Oh, yeah.
covering.
Here, we can give his thoughts after the chapter recap.
Yeah, you want to do the chapter recap? Also, I forgot to mention
Yes.
it. Chapter 264.
Yes. So, we are on Inhuman Maki Shinjuku Showdown Part 36. The chapter continues from where we left off. It has this sick little beginning page where it's the four characters in play right now, which is Angel, Sukuna, Yuji, and Toto. If we remember back from last week's chapter, um, after the domain break, we were doing a bunch of uh what is it, boogie woogieing around up until Angel showed up and was doing a maximum output Jacob's ladder. So we see the four characters at play. The next thing that we see is Sukuna punching the ground. He punched it so hard to shoot rubble up through Jacob's ladder and decides to climb Jacob's ladder um by jumping off of that rubble. Um, he has this inner thought process of, hey, compared to Yuta's Jacob's Ladder, this is a little bit different because it hits both Toto and Yuji, so they both can't use their curse technique currently. And so then he says that, hey, I'm not going to be interfered with. This is epic. And he points out, hey, this even though that it's a maximum output Jacob's Ladder, it's still not as strong as when it first hit him all the way back during the end of the Culling Games. We see Angel tell Hana to get some distance from Sukuna, but it's a little bit too late. She's right behind him. And right before he kills Hana, he even says like she has no way to defend herself. That loss of an arm really screwed up everything. We see Toto uh, cover for her and take another black flash. Sukuna then acknowledges Toto, saying, "Wow, this guy." He is a jujutsu sorcerer. As he knocks them through two buildings, kind of got what the treatment that Yuji got back, like when he first took over Megumi's body. Anyways, he's pointing out, hey, they're out of commission. Now I just have to deal with Yuji. And then there's a cute little diagram at the end of page 7 that Yuji followed Sukuna up the broken rubble. Um, so he lands a good old punch on him, throws him through a building, and so then it's just the two of them. Yuji is trying to land cleaves on Sukuna. The first thing that he tries to do is like try to break his balance again by hitting the ground, but um Yuji gets thrown off because Sukuna what is it? He regrew his limbs because he landed two black flashes, so he can use reverse curse technique again. It's also I don't know if you noticed this. I found it really funny on page 11 with Sukuna's full body and you just see his mouth. Just that
Yeah, it's smiling as
it's
well.
it yeah. So he's pretty happy. He's basically saying, I'm going to wait for my curse technique to come back. And until then, I'm just going to make it so that he can't hit me, especially because I got four arms. So he can't hit me. Um, so we just see this fight go on for a little bit longer, of Yuji trying to land hits on him. Very fun. I know that we even said this back when he first could use Cleaver Dismantle, but it's very fun that he can, how it's depicted with the scissors. Um, so you can kind of see where he's aiming to attack. Um, so, um, as we see this all go on, we get a little bit of a flashback to Yuji's perspective when he was inside Jogo's domain with Gojo. And he's remembering the rules behind a domain expansion where you get a little amp because it's like your own area that you created. Excuse me. And then the other thing is that the curse technique imbued into a domain will always hit. And so then with that, he's like, you know what? Fuck it, we ball. Does Yuji does a domain expansion? We don't know the name of it yet. Um, we also get author's notes, or excuse me, narrator notes saying that Yuji knows how to use barrier techniques now from Kusakabe. So he's just like, let's do this. Let's do the ingrained technique. And then Sukuna is like, where the hell am I? As they're in this subway station, it looks like, or just train station in general. And Yuji says, let's go, Sukuna. And Sukuna is back in his Yuji form, not in like the four-armed form. Looks scared as fuck, which I love. And also Yuji's also all fixed up and repaired. So that was the end of the chapter. And we also get a chapter next week again. Finally, we're no longer on these little breaks.
Yay. So,
Anyways, very fun chapter. Um, let's get Dreez's thoughts out of the
Dreez's
way.
thoughts, and I quote directly for him, are the first one is, I fucking knew that MF could throw out a domain. And then his second thought, also, quotes here, my words, not his. I don't mean in a bad way, but these are his. This has to be the way Yuji wins. If it ain't, this fucking manga is gonna make me lose my goddamn mind. Max, I couldn't. If you're listening, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
um, so I agree with Max. I think this is Yuji's leg up in the fight. I did
Yeah.
see like memes about how like Sukuna's already been off screened. I don't know if you've seen a few of
Yeah.
those. Like, did
Because they've been akinning it. Everyone knows the panel because you should be
yeah.
reading this with us. But it's just like with Gojo and Ghetto. He's just like, what? You're
Well,
here too?
well, I saw someone made
So,
one of like it's the scene where it's like the strongest sorcerer today versus the strongest sorcerer of history. And it's the strongest off screen of today versus the strongest off screen of history. And so I was getting a little kick out of that. So I actually
evil,
had to,
evil.
when the leaks were coming out, I actually had to text Nick because like the scene of the what the hell is this place? The last two pages, I thought they were fake. I don't know why. I didn't believe those. I was like, there's no way. I thought the chapter
Yeah.
ended with Yuji's domain. So I was like, oh.
Hmm.
And then Nick's like, yeah, those are real. And I'm like, no way. And then I saw our our favorite leaker on Twitter had posted them. I just had missed. I must have like missed looking at them. So, but
Yeah. The one guy that you always go to, Miyamura.
yes,
Um, he does that weird thing as well. I don't know when you looked at the leaks, but it's always like he shows the images that night and then he takes them down the next morning just
mm-hmm.
because leakers get cracked down on hella now.
And then he writes a
Because
description of the chapter. Like each
yeah,
page gets a little like paragraph.
yeah, just going into little details on it. But no, with how leaks come out now, when I saw this come out, I just look up JJK 264 and I just look through everything and half of the time it's people speaking Spanish
Yeah.
showing the panels and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's here." Especially because like everyone's hyped up with Yuji's domain.
Mm-hmm.
Um understandably because he finally has a domain expansion.
Yeah, like I
It's
think I mentioned
crazy.
it to you. Like I'd really love to see if it was kind of similar to Higuruma's, where it's not like a combat focused domain. It's more just
Oh yeah.
like something like you
I
know
finally understand what you meant with that connection. I was like, what do you mean it's not combat focused? Like, oh, never
yeah.
mind.
So there was like a thing, I don't know if you'd seen it, Nick, that the hand sign he does is I forget the name, but it's someone
Please go
in
into detail on it, or what is
yes.
it?
I have
I have seen the thing. Basically, it's a reference to more Buddhist mythology, right?
yes.
Buddhist, I think, not
So
Hindu,
I have it
or
right
at least it
here.
involves Buddha.
So someone's so it is the Kish I will put it in the description. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce and say that.
Kitsuga Garba.
Yeah.
Kitsuga Kitsugarba.
Um, but
That may
so
be it. I may have butchered it as well.
yeah, so it translates
But
to womb of the earth. It's a great thing to point out how Yuji's still a vessel, but the so the meaning behind that also is it's a Buddha whose duty was to guide souls that had no chance of redemption in life, and also he did
mhm.
not want to obtain what is it, prosperity or the title of Buddha officially until he had, I'm doing quotation marks, how he had rid the hells of evil. I don't know the exact terminology, but
Or I
um
think it was like, yeah, just like God damn it. There's a guy, specifically a TikToker slash
he
Instagram guy,
he guy
Pino Boy. I think
yeah
that's what it is.
he
I may also be
he
butchering it.
guides others to enlightenment before he does. He became he didn't want to obtain the chance to become a Buddha until all hells in quotation marks are purified. He is the guardian of souls, is the term they used. So, very cool to see that we're getting more and more Buddhist and even Shinto represent. I mean, we've always had it, but this representation of like faith. I don't know if I want to use. I know a lot of characters in Jujutsu
I
Kaisen
mean,
aren't
it's
like
very
holy people,
fitting.
but yeah, like especially like the
Yeah.
honored one title, a lot of the techniques. It's very cool to see like how, I don't know how to use the word, like in
Epic
touch, epic
reference.
reference, how in touch Gege is with these like religious and philosophical backgrounds, because it's kind of interesting. Like here's the thing, I found out, I kind of knew a little bit, but like in Japan, a lot of like Japanese people aren't per se religious, but they still go to the Shinto and Buddhist shrines like once a month, every week on the Sunday or something. They still go and do these religious practices even though they themselves aren't part of the faith anymore. So it's kind of cool to see that these traditions are still carrying on pretty heavily to this day through manga, through just them doing it. But I don't know, it was just like a thought I had while reading the chapter. I was like, hey, that reminded me. Like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep going like the next 3 months of this podcast. But well, when I was in Japan, but like, it was just something like I had noticed in a few. I had heard some people talk about that, but that I kind
No,
of drew the
I think
connection
it's
to.
cool. It's fun that Gege did his research for that because like what is it? You'll have people that are always also arguing about like the like honored one title, and then like I have another friend that reads this manga that like goes way too in depth when it comes to like the history and mythology. Like
Mm,
even if you remember the big three spirits, the big three families, based
yes,
off of the three vengeful spirits, like he did the research on that. So it's just fun that Gege tries to intertwine a little bit of like actual
Japanese
mythology to
history
go along with
too. Yeah,
this.
history
Yeah.
mythology into a series. But
It's
no,
cool.
yeah.
It's a good excuse to make their kids even read it too. Just like, no, I'm learning. I'm learning.
But I don't know if you saw, people have been saying that like, oh, with Yuji's domain being the train station, it was foreshadowed back in the first opening of the anime. I don't know if you saw anything about that. I don't know how I
I
feel
know
about
that may be reading a bit too deep in my
that's it,
opinion.
dude. I saw that and like I didn't comment on it, but I was gonna be like, you guys are reaching too far. Like, I think that's a little bit like, yeah, I can see it, but I think it's too much of a reach. Um, so, but
Yeah.
it's a cool
I
connection. I mean, maybe
mhm.
then you go. The argument is not the connection to the
It may
first
have been the
chapter.
cycle that Gege saw that in the opening. Like, you know what? That actually kind of looks sick as fuck. Let me use this later in the manga.
Yeah. But my thought was like, well, maybe if there's the connection with the Buddha who who was kind of the guardian of souls. Maybe his domain isn't per se a combat focused one, but maybe it's guiding the person who it got used on into the, I don't know, the next life. Maybe like maybe it's guiding them forward. Um, because
Yeah.
a train is taking you somewhere. I don't know. I could be reading too far with this. I don't know,
I How
but
I'm interpreting this is that so I still think it's Malevolent Shrine. I am praying because we're so close to it that it is the like he burned Sukuna's soul out of Megami's body.
mm-hmm.
But I really feel like this is like a stand proud moment or like the
Oh yeah,
Kashimo interaction that he had with Sukuna of
these
like ha
interactions
gi giving
transcend.
Sukuna peace uh with his death basically because I reread that it's not a fight, it's a slaughter, the
Against
slaughtering of
Kashimo.
Kashimo. But
Yeah.
it's very fun and pretty, their whole interaction at the end, and I think that this is akin to it. Like we're gonna come back and it's gonna be like just Megami's soul is like Megami's body's going like covered in fire, just burning.
Um,
Um
but something I like about it is in that last 2 pages is personally in Yuji's face, I don't see any malice in it. I think
and
he's
the
just
Let's Go Sukuna.
yeah, he's coming like hey, like he's being I don't want to use the word friendly, but he's being cordial maybe. I would like to personally believe there's
He
no
looks very
malice.
peppy. This is the first time we've seen him smile in forever.
Yeah, like I'd like to believe there's no malice. He's just doing his duty like as a sorcerer. Because ooh, excuse me, I don't know how else to phrase it, but
I I'm on the opposite side where I think that he's gonna two-time him,
mm-hmm,
where like it's them talking and then at the end it's just like him saying like I before I die I'm going to make a lot of friends and have them be around me and go fuck yourself.
mm-hmm,
Burn. Just it's gonna be a complete turnaround at the end because especially like with this angle and everything, Sukuna is scared. He looks very scared in this last panel.
mm-hmm,
Um, just like with the body language of like being hunched over and looking up at him, like, oh my God, what's happening to me?
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I think it will turn around. That kind of goes into like what will happen next chapter as well,
yeah.
which will be interesting. I think that it is literally just going to be a conversation between the two.
And then it's kind of
Um,
like what happened with Gojo, where we just get that final panel, like his body split in two.
yeah, yeah, just burning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, please, Gege, please.
Please, it
I'm
would
begging you.
be so
I
cool
need
for it to
this
be
shit.
Malevolent Shrine.
Yeah. It's
Um,
gotta be. It's the same technique.
mm-hmm. Because like
Um,
the hand sign is different because Malevolent Shrine visually is your index and no, not is it index finger? Yeah,
it's the middle finger and
and
your
you
ring finger.
yeah, it's
So this one is just the middle finger.
yeah. So doing it.
So
I'm literally doing
slightly
it
different.
now,
It's like one finger off,
but
or I guess technically two if you're using two hands, but
it's so it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here because this chapter was really good. I'm a little mad. They're like Angel's technique wasn't as good as it could be.
yeah, that
Like
part was bullshit, dude.
I'm like no, I shouldn't say no offense. Um, Angel to me is useless now. Angel,
Yeah,
like
actually.
Angel since the beginning. I know she released Gojo, but like has been useless. It feels like, and like I mean, it could be Gege rushing a little bit, and we didn't get to see this character that has this cool technique actually get to do it. But it just felt like
Another plot device. It's like the same case with like Kamutoke,
uh huh
Sukuna's like lightning dagger.
yeah
Um, it's just the fact of like, unfortunately, Angel was there just to release Gojo. Um, and like it's in that point of like he had to like write flaws with the character just so that Sukuna could get around it, like the fact that like Hana is a she likes Megami and she wants him to be safe. And so then it's just like, all right, I'm
yeah
gonna make it so like I'm gonna like I have to write in that flaw just so that Sukuna can have an upper hand on her uh and screw her over.
mm-hmm.
Because if not, like Sukuna would have been gone. Um, so it's dumb, especially because like at the end it's like the copium of like it's not as strong as it was before, and like the panel beforehand is like that was the biggest Jacob ladder ever.
Yeah. So,
Um, like it was bigger than the building that they were in. So
but
it's
it
just a
is
little
what it is.
frustrating.
I do really
Yeah.
like Toto coming in and kind of taking that hit. Dude, he's taken what, three black flashes in this series in total? Two from Sukuna, and then he took one from Mahito. Like, dude, he's crazy.
Yeah.
So like,
And he's taken these ones better than what he did with Mahito.
yeah. So there was something I wrote. I'm like, dude, the part about Toto is a true sorcerer. I said like he's the perfect support and sub DPS.
Yeah.
So like we had always said like, oh, Yuji's great when he uses it as a weapon. I'm like, dude, Yuji is his own DPS now. Like he's doing his own work, and everyone around him is adapting to him.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've been liking is it's Yuji. We're back to having Yuji as the main character. Like it's him.
Finally.
Yeah.
Next chapter, Hikari versus Urame. I'm sorry, I had to say it at some point. It was just like let's just ignore the domain expansion. Gege really will like twist that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well.
although I will say it kind of feels like it should go that way. And I'm saying that because I need more Jujutsu Kaisen. Because
Yeah.
this chapter itself kind of cemented like, oh shit, this is gonna be done in like a month.
Hmm.
We're gonna be done. Um,
Yes. Yes.
which makes me sad because I'm just like, what are we gonna do?
Well, the
What am I
next
gonna do
month
with my
now we get
Sundays?
we get Hikari and
No, for
Urame.
the next 3 months.
3 months, and then
For the
we
next three
get no,
months.
2 months. Wait, no, 3 months, and we get a month or two left of JJK of tying up loose ends, and
Yeah.
then Gege goes and writes side stories about JJK. He writes
Yes.
something about the Han
Or
era, about
hear me
Yuki.
out. We need a Yuki
Yes,
prequel.
Yuki prequel would go hard. But
Exactly.
there was something I want to point out on page 10.
Hmm.
Yuji is dodging Shrine, or at least visually it looks like it, which I thought was sick and went hard.
I
Like,
think that uh wait on 10.
so there's the panel. The first panel is Yuji throwing out his own version of.
Oh,
I meant Shrine is all like just like
no, like
Sukuda's
cave and
technique.
dismantle.
Yeah, just overall.
I think that is the it's highlighted to show that he regrew his limb,
Like
not that he's
the.
dodging.
Oh, okay. I'm still gonna have to
Because
play it.
unfortunately, just like with how it was put together, like Sukuna's waiting for his curse technique to come back
Mm-hmm.
after the domain.
So.
Although I wish that he did dodge it.
Yeah, it'd be cool like a visual representation of how Yuji is understanding Sukudo's technique, that he can see it, because there's that whole thing in Shibuya of like, you can see my technique, Maharaga, you can see it. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like it's such
He
a.
was impressed when Maki could do it as well.
Yeah,
It's
like
like,
it seems like
what?
it's such a big deal to see cleave and dismantle, and like it was set up to be such a like a big deal, but I don't
Hmm.
know if I mean it's maybe just like a plot thread that Gege didn't end up liking and never explored, but it was just something I was like, oh my gosh, maybe.
Yeah, it's something that has turned sadly into a minor note.
Yeah, but yeah, no,
Like,
that's.
not even Gojo saw it.
Mhm.
Gojo's just like, why are you pointing a finger gun at me? And like, oh, the building is falling.
So no, it's great to see because like I like that drought of what JJK was like. That's been what JJK has been like for the past few months. I feel like we're finally getting away from that. I mean, it's sad that it's coming at the end of the series, but I'm really enjoying it. We have Yuji back as our main character. It's very fun to see. You know, just to fight. I mean, yeah, Toto has been in this fight, and technically Yuta now and Hana, but like it's cool to see that it's just Yuji right now. Like
Yuji, yeah.
he's standing alone right now. So that indomitable human spirit, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm also curious to see if he's gonna land any more Black Flashes.
Mm-hmm.
Yuji, because what is it? He's already done more than Gojo has in the series, but like like the whole like comment when like the big Black Flash chapter, where it's just like Yuji will surpass the amount of times that Gojo has done Black Flash.
Mm-hmm.
So it may
May
happen next chapter. I don't know. Maybe they're just gonna
well, maybe to
punch each
surpass it,
other.
when our theory, your theory, and our theory about burning, Sukuna burning,
Hmm.
is we see that the flames have aspects of Black Flash in them, maybe.
Yeah,
Like there's black
Black
sparks,
Flames.
I was gonna say like black flames, or just like there's sparks coming. There's like actually, like, when the anime, in like 5 years when the anime this comes out, we get to hear like thunderish, like black lightning or something
Yeah,
as he's
we see
firing.
like the effects on the panel as well.
Mm-hmm. So it's very cool to see. Be
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be it's good. Oh, my voice there. But it's very cool to see where we're headed with this.
Yes, cool and sad at the same time. Because goddamn, what am I gonna do with that JJK in my life?
Well, yeah, no, I didn't know. I'm like, we know it's gonna end this series, but like, how many more chapters? How much longer? How much more JJK do we get?
Yeah.
Um,
If we're lucky, hopefully like another what, 15 chapters.
yeah,
Just with how everything's looking. I'm saying that and then it's gonna be like Sukuna use simple domain.
yeah. Use
Right
simple
before you enter the
domain.
barrier, like, all right, well, I guess I'll just go fuck myself.
Yeah, like we're like sad the series ending. We're like, just end it already. Just end it at that
Yeah.
rate. But yeah, no, it's good to see. It's good. I think it's
Mm.
also good to see, like we've talked about, is like it's good to see that JJK is coming to an end. Like the series, I don't say has run its course. The series is running its course, and I'm glad to see it's deciding to go out. I don't know if it was like go out on its own terms. Like it's not just gonna
It's
keep
going out on it's
a
what is
high
it? They're
note.
ending the series when it should be ended.
Yeah,
That's the best way to put it.
it's
Like the story will actually be fulfilled. It's not just like writing extra arcs and continuing it on
yeah.
forever and ever because it's a popular series.
So,
So, yeah.
but yeah, so it'll be nice to see where we, um, you know, how much more we get. And I think,
Yeah.
like a few months ago, we were kind of just bored of it, but like I think we're getting very grateful right now for these last few chapters, and it's 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 great. It's great. I've been liking what we're getting so far.
Yeah.
So
No, I've been happy. Of course, there have been ups and downs. I think the fucking
with any
Kusakabe
series,
chapter was definitely like the most frustrating part, but um I don't know. I'm happy where it's going.
well, I think with and I mean any good series is gonna have its ups and downs. You can't it.
Oh yeah.
I feel like for a series to be good, it can't constantly be a banger. It's gotta have some moments that you're like, really,
Yeah.
like.
I mean, we'll get to that point eventually. This stuff will get refined to the point that there will never be a bad part unless it's like highly opinionated. But
Yeah,
I don't know. We're almost there already. I love this series, so
yeah, it'll be.
um I guess the last thing to tackle, what do you think is going to happen next chapter?
Um, I like I like the idea of Yuji burning away. That we get a chapter of Yuji and Sukuna. I would like genuinely like to see them just have a conversation.
Hmm.
Um, no, like honestly, maybe Sukuna like we show don't tell. Throughout the talk, Sukuna realizes this is the end, and maybe like
Hmm.
he's a little standoffish at first against talking to Yuji, but maybe as he realizes, hey, like I'm dead or dying right
Hmm.
now. This is it.
Yeah.
We get a moment. I don't want to say clarity, but we get a moment that he just has a conversation with Sukuna, and they I don't know what they would talk about, but what I want to see them talk. Maybe about you know Sukuna realizing that, hey, when I said, hey, you could be from that time, this is what somehow your dad is my brother or something. Maybe something like that. Not like he's like, oh, you know,
Some explanation to him.
yeah, some sort of like, hey, I'm not sure what Kenjaku did to you, but based on what I have pieced together, you know, you're great. This is what you could be. So maybe
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know exactly either. But something like that. You know, real prediction. We're gonna joke real prediction. We're cutting to Hikari Higaru or not Higuruma, Arame. Boom. What do you think,
Yeah.
Nick?
I think probably next chapter is just gonna be the two of them talking. I just want Sukuna to actually have some fear in him for once, and I think that this is like gonna be the final payoff. I'm gonna akin it to like the wolf hunting the rabbit.
Mm.
Um, like it's gonna be that one of those sorts of scenes where like it could also just be that Yuji is just like, you know what, I'm a cog in this, and I will always get rid of you. And it's Sukuna realizing that he actually finally lost to a sorcerer. He's just like, I finally lost.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like finally acknowledging him no longer being like the kid or
The
the
brat.
brat. Yeah, I
I
think
don't
that
know
that's
if
how
he's ever
it's
called
gonna
him
end off.
Yuji, but like ending off the talk they have, ending Sukuna calling him Yuji Itadori would kind of be
Yeah.
interesting.
I think it also would be fun just like at the because it definitely feels a lot more towards the like Gojo passing away,
Hmm.
like you know like leaving and everything. I think it'd be really funny if they're walking up to a train that comes by and only Sukuna gets on. Like, all right,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sure that it will be similar to that case.
Mm.
Um, but yeah. And then an actual legitimate also answer is Gege, please give me Hikari versus Arame. Please, I'm begging you with every fiber of my being.
Here, I'm gonna add something in my theory. So, throughout their conversation, there's gonna be an announcement, and the town that Sukuna is born in. It's like um, the train bound for insert Sukuna's birth town or hometown is arriving or
Yeah.
something. And that's kind of his going to the next life is
Hmm.
going quote unquote home.
Yeah. Or this is the domain, and the end of the chapter is Arame breaking in, and then we fight for another 3 years.
Hopefully not.
That could also be an option. Sukuna could get saved in that particular circumstance, but we'll see.
Yeah, so I think that's a great play. Got some great thoughts. We just gotta wait till next week.
Yeah.
So,
Um, yeah, is there anything else we want to cover?
not off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think this will be a good spot to end it. Um, so yeah. Do you want me to do the ending?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, thank you for those listening to this episode. Again, episode 76 of the Jumpcast. We would appreciate if you guys have any other thoughts or comments, please leave them in the comments section. Um, yeah, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are not going to be on break next week, so very exciting. Um, yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.